Well, hello, welcome to the channel. I wasn't even going to do an edit for this. I was just going to crack on, get it done. But then I thought, you know what, it's worth sharing with you because the reason I'm doing this in the first place is because I've seen some recent posts in my Facebook group, MTB Fanatics, of bikes being stolen from garages. Now, even though I've got an alarm system in the garage, so that triggers if it senses movement or the garage door opens. I've also got locks and systems in place on the garage door itself. But I've now even gone to the lengths, which is a real shame we have to do this, to actually secure it to the wall. Now I've done one already. I want to show you the process of the other one. I bought this off Amazon. It's cheap enough for you to do, and I think it would just give you that little bit more of a comfort blanket that your bikes are as secure as you could get them to be, but hopefully it's enough to deter people if they do try and steal them. So let's get into it. Now that's the one I've installed on the FS already, and for £34 it comes with the wall anchor and the chain. I must say, quite impressed with the quality of it all as well. Now I've got to go and do the second one, which is what I'm going to show you. When you order this particular package and it turns up, so you'll get the wall anchor mount as seen there, and the chain and padlock, and actually really good quality, to be honest. So let's just open this up and show you what's what. So this is essentially what you get when you open this pack. Keep that because it's got the instructions on the back. These are the wall plugs, so you get the big bolts that go through, and it's 16mm that you're going to need to drill through the wall. I'll show you how I'm going to achieve that, but yeah, I had to go at B&Q and just buy the specific drill bit as I didn't have a 16mm, so just be wary of that. And then you get some plastic caps which go effectively onto this, so it's harder to access. And then you get 4 ball bearings in the packaging as well, so that when you've got it tight to the wall, you hammer them into these, and then it's just even more difficult for anybody determined to try and break the mount to gain access to that, to unscrew it. You get the Allen keys. I've just noticed doing the first one that these aren't the best quality, so if you've got some better quality Allen keys or a socket set, something like that, I'd recommend using that, because it did slip in one of the bolts at one point. Luckily enough it didn't ruin it, but just something to be mindful of. This is not the best. I want the actual security chain to go through the bottom section of the bar, so just like I've done on the full suspension there. And the best thing to do is offer it up to the wall if this is how you're mounting it, or however you intend to do it, and just make sure that things actually reach properly, because you can get different size chains even on Amazon of this same brand. So have a look, make sure you get the right one. And I can kind of see that if I offer it up to that position there, which would be about right, probably offset it a little bit actually, just so it's easier to access in the middle, then I can start to mount it around here. When you do mount it, make sure it goes into the brickwork, not into the actual cement here, because that's just easy to pull out. So if you want that absolute secure connection, it needs to be into the brick. So let's get it all measured up and ready to install. Now, using the Allen key provided for these bolts in the middle, just unscrew it and then it will give you access to the main plate ready to measure up to the wall. That moves into the middle, and then making this look really awkward with the one hand, you can remove that and you can see there that it's just one solid piece. The weld's covered up nicely and it feels solid as well. I mean, for the £34, I don't think you can go wrong really. I'm pretty chuffed with the result of it. See, now on second thoughts, because I never made any actual plan with this video, it's just off the hoof, get the camera out, I'm going to actually locate it here. So I'm going to mark that position up, just have a little bit of thought about it, and that's the beauty of not committing straight away. Just make sure you're absolutely content with where things are. And then make the marks as I demonstrated before. And there we go. So I'm going to go for that area there. So kind of disregard that, so you don't end up going there. Just cross through it, and then I know that I've got to make my holes there. So let's get to it. So I make no bones about it. If you want to do a proper job, you need the proper tools. Luckily, I end up doing a lot of DIY, so I've got one of these great masonry drills with the proper drill bits. So start small to generate the hole right in the center of your mark. Now the hole needs to be 70mm deep. So how do you do that? Well, get 70 centimeters or 70mm on your tape measure. So up to the 7, a little bit of tape. Easiest way to do it, straight from tip to where you tape measure ends, and then just dial it in like that. Once you get to the end of the tape, then that's where you stop. That's 70mm. So let's go. There we go. That's how you do it easily. And then that way you're not going to drill through to the bathroom. Because at the end of the day, I don't want more jobs on top of what I'm trying to achieve already. So I've gone to a 12mm drill bit now, and yeah, put the tape on just like before. What you don't want to do is go straight to the big drill bit, because you'll just make an absolute hash. It won't be a neat sort of 16mm hole, which is what it wants by the end result. So just work your way up gradually when you're doing this sort of stuff on brickwork. This is the daddy of all my drill bits, so 16mm. It cost me a tenner just to get that one. So like I say, maybe add that on top of the price of the actual kit, because if you haven't got all the tools, maybe you can borrow them off somebody, but it's always going to come in handy at some point. So same again, marked it up so that we don't go too far, and start widening up to the required 16mm, ready to install those big metal bits, let's say. So once it's complete, you can see there that the holes are absolutely huge compared to anything that I normally do. So just take your time, get it right, and it should look like that, or very, very similar. Maybe even neater, who knows. Now, I'm trying to do my best with the camera angles for the phone, so hopefully this is good, but you would have seen at the beginning that these come already installed. So just take the bolts out and you'll see that 16mm, perfect. Now it should be a little bit tight, that's the whole point, so just get your hammer. And don't be too forceful, but it needs to sit obviously flush to the wall. So just take your time. Some of them go in easier than others, clearly. And last one, a little bit more difficult again. But look at that, nice and flush, ready to now install these with the actual D-mount on the wall. What I'd strongly suggest before you tighten it up to the maximum is just get the bolts in initially. Make sure it all lines up like so. On the last one, just so you know, I just went until I felt that it was tight enough. So there's no torque setting or anything like that. It's just go to a point where it is secure. Because if you go too far, like everything, you'll probably just trash the thread, and then all of a sudden it's going to be a real ball ache to get it back out. Now get your bag of ball bearings. You only get 4 in total, so please make sure you don't lose these, because this is kind of what secures this in place as a permanent fixture, let's say. So once you've got the ball bearing in there, it's not just going to slide in, you've actually got to hammer this in. So I'm just going to use that torque piece there to hold it in position, and then just get the hammer to actually put it in. Right, once it's in, just going to use the actual hammer to secure it home. And you work around and do all 4 of those. So that's it with the ball bearings in, 1 in each, like I say. So if somebody was to force the plastic cover off to gain access to this, it'd be extremely difficult to then just try and use an Allen key to get them out. So it does deter someone perhaps, and they might leave your stuff alone. I mean, it's hard to tell. Any professional is going to get what they want at the end of the day, but at least this is going to cause a time delay in doing that. So let's get the plastic cover on and finish up. Okay, so there's 2 ways this can go. You can have it so it sits like that, which is the way I want it, or if you were to put the cover on the other way, it's going to sit down low so that it gets out the way, which is kind of neat, to be honest, but I like it sticking out so it's just easy to loop in every single time it's on the wall. And for this bit, you can just use that Allen key that is provided. just do one loosely first, get that out of the way, and then do the second one loosely to get it in. And then you don't need to hang off this, it's just to neaten everything up so it doesn't look so much of an eyesore. Do apologise if my hand's been getting in the way throughout this, but like I say, I wasn't even going to do an edit on this, but I thought, you know what, it's good to show you what you can do. And then you get these two plastic caps that go with it as well. So again, making it a little bit more difficult to access the bolts. I mean, I can't even put them in, that's how difficult it is. Now I'm just going to use that torque piece just to get the straight angles on it. That's popped in nicely. And there you go, so that just becomes so much more difficult to access that. Now with the product, you do get 2 keys, so keep them safe. And I've got just over a meter's worth of chain for both of these to work for me. I've already taken the padlock off just to make it a little bit easier, but you thread it through like so, put the bolt through, the main lock piece now going on, and then like so. There's even a weatherproof thing there. I mean, it doesn't matter so much in the garage, but dust proofing all helps. And that's it, secure. So that is effectively not going anywhere. I'm really impressed. You know, anybody sort of comes in and sees that's gonna hopefully think, you know what, it's too much hassle. So that's it, that's the edit that I wasn't gonna do complete. I hope you've enjoyed what you've seen there. It's just straight away makes me feel more comfortable that I've secured those to the wall rather than just leaving them on the mounts and hoping that the worst situation doesn't happen. Check the links out in the description. This is one of many. I mean, obviously you're always determined by what you buy with the budget that you have, and for £34 each, I thought that that was a pretty good combo, to be honest, so I'm happy with that amount I've spent anyway. If you like what you've seen, give it a thumbs up, throw your comments in down below, of course subscribe, so press the logo down the bottom there. It'd be wicked to see you come back for more content, but until then, I'll see you for the next one.